For 2 seasons, Hansi Flick's Barcelona has been one of the most exciting teams in world football. Goals everywhere. Lamine Yamal destroying full backs. Pedri controlling games. Lewandowski finished perfectly. But every time Barcelona reached the UCL, the same problem appeared. The defence collapsed. Against Inter Milan in the 2024-25 Champions League semi-finals, Barcelona conceded 7 goals across 2 legs. In 2025-26, Atletico Madrid knocked Barcelona out. Same type of goal, scored the same way that Barca had been conceding all season. A defender makes a stupid mistake and Barcelona are out. Again and again, 11 consecutive years without a Champions League title. The missing piece had a name, and Flick knew it. He picked up the phone, called the player personally and told him exactly how he would use him. That conversation changed everything. Rodrigo Hernandez, known simply as Rodri, now a Barcelona player. In this video, we're going to show exactly how Rodri could fix a broken Barcelona and what his partnership with Flick could mean for Europe. First of all, Rodri is not a glamorous player. He doesn't score spectacular goals. He doesn't produce highlight reel dribbles. He does something harder. He makes chaos disappear. Watch Barcelona when their high line gets broken. One ball over the top, the centre-backs caught high, and suddenly there was 30 metres of open space between the defence and the goalkeeper. That is where Rodri is different. He doesn't wait for the danger to appear. He reads it before it happens. He closes passing lanes before they open. He positions himself where the next pass is going. At Manchester City, that was the foundation of Guardiola's entire system. City could press high because Rodri was behind the play. If the press was beaten, he was there. If a counter-attack started, he was there. If the defence needed protection, he was there. Barcelona under Flick play with the same basic idea. High press, high line, constant pressure. But for 2 seasons, there has been one missing piece. Someone to stand behind the chaos. So, Rodri isn't coming to Barcelona to add another superstar. He's coming to make the system work. For weeks, Real Madrid were the favourites to sign Rodri. They had met with his representatives, negotiations were advanced, and a move to the Bernabeu seemed almost inevitable. Then Rodri made a phone call to Pep Guardiola. He asked his former manager a simple question. Which club should he choose? Guardiola's answer was direct. Barcelona's style of play suited Rodri better than what Mourinho's Real Madrid could offer. The Catalan coach knew exactly what system Rodri had spent 5 years mastering, because it was his system. Positional play, high pressing, possession-based football, control. Barcelona under Flick was built on many of the same foundations as Guardiola's Manchester City. For Rodri, it was a natural fit. Rodri listened. Then he had another important conversation, this time with Hansi Flick himself. The Barcelona manager explained his tactical plans and exactly how Rodri would fit into the team. According to multiple reports, that conversation played a major role in Rodri's final decision. He informed Real Madrid that he would not be coming. There were 3 clear reasons behind the choice. First, the footballing philosophy. Under Mourinho, Real Madrid played differently, more direct, more vertical, with Bellingham and Valverde given greater freedom to attack rather than control the game from deep. That isn't Rodri's natural game. Barcelona's possession-based structure and aggressive pressing provide the environment where Rodri does his best work. Second, the dressing room. Rodri had just won the World Cup with Spain, alongside players such as Pedri, Gavi, Lamine Yamal, Dani Olmo, Ferran Torres, Pau Cubarsí, Eric Garcia and Joan Garcia. He wouldn't be walking into an unfamiliar dressing room. He would be joining players who already knew his football, his personality and the way he played. And then there was the third reason, legacy. Barcelona's sporting director Deco had made it clear that the club saw Rodri as the closest thing to a successor to Sergio Busquets. Busquets spent more than a decade controlling Barcelona's midfield from deep. He protected the defence, dictated the tempo and gave Xavi and Iniesta the freedom to create ahead of him. For Rodri, being asked to fill those shoes meant more than simply joining another club. Real Madrid wanted Rodri. Barcelona needed him, and Rodri understood the difference. But Flick's system has one structural weakness. Barcelona press aggressively and play an extremely high defensive line. When it works, it is devastating. Opponents are pinned back, caught offside, and given almost no time to breathe. But there is a problem. The moment a team beats that first wave of pressure with one ball over the top, Barcelona can suddenly be exposed. The centre-backs are high up the pitch, the midfield has been bypassed, and there can be nothing between the attacker and the goalkeeper except open grass. And that gap keeps appearing because Barcelona have lacked a genuine defensive midfielder. Frenkie de Jong, who has often played as the deepest midfielder under Flick, is a brilliant footballer. But his instincts are different. He wants to move forward. He carries the ball. He breaks lines. He isn't a traditional destroyer. He doesn't naturally sit in front of the defence, shield the centre-backs, and sweep up every transition. When the ball goes over the top and Barcelona's defenders are caught high, de Jong can already be 30 metres away. Rodri is the exact solution. His entire game is built around reading transition moments before they happen. He doesn't simply react to danger, he anticipates it. He closes passing lanes. He steps into the path of the next pass. He wins duels. He covers space without wasting movement. And most importantly, he protects the defenders behind him. With Rodri anchored in front of the back line, Flick's high press becomes far less dangerous. The space opponents have been targeting for 2 seasons suddenly has someone occupying it, and the numbers at Manchester City tell the same story. In the 2023-24 Premier League season, City conceded an average of around 0.9 goals per game when Rodri started. When he was absent, that figure rose significantly. Same team, same manager, same system. One major difference: Rodri. That kind of defensive influence is almost unheard of for a midfielder. Based on Barcelona's system, Rodri slots directly into the number 6 role, the deepest position in midfield. In Flick's preferred 4-2-3-1, Rodri could operate as one of the 2 holding midfielders alongside Pedri, with Dani Olmo playing as the attacking number 10 behind the front 3. And there is a reason this setup feels familiar. It is almost identical to the midfield structure Spain used at the 2026 World Cup, where Rodri was named the tournament's best player. Flick would essentially be bringing that midfield structure from the national team to Barcelona. But there is another option. In a 4-3-3, Rodri would sit at the base of the midfield, with Pedri and Gavi playing as the 2 number 8s ahead of him. That triangle could give Barcelona something they have been missing: control, creativity, and defensive security at the same time. Rodri protects, Pedri controls, Gavi brings intensity. And behind them, Barcelona would finally have a midfielder whose first instinct is to protect the entire structure. There is also the Busquets factor. Deco has been clear about the vision. Rodri is Barcelona's long-awaited successor to Sergio Busquets. Busquets spent more than a decade controlling games from deep, protecting the defence, and giving players like Xavi and Iniesta the freedom to create. When he left in 2023, Barcelona never truly replaced him. They tried different solutions. None of them were Busquets. Rodri may be the closest thing world football has produced in a decade. Barcelona haven't won the Champions League since 2015. 11 years. Since then, they've been eliminated by Roma, Liverpool, Bayern Munich twice, Paris Saint-Germain, Juventus, Inter Milan, and Atletico Madrid. Rodri won't fix everything. The high defensive line will continue to be tested. And at 30, Rodri isn't the same explosive athlete he was 3 years ago. He faced an ACL injury, but he could fix the most important problem. For 2 seasons, opponents have targeted the space between Barcelona's midfield and defensive line. Now, that space has Rodri, a genuine anchor, a player whose first instinct is to protect the structure around him, the man who won the Ballon d'Or, not through spectacular goals or flashy dribbles, but by making everyone around him better. With Rodri, Barca could finally become one of its hardest teams to beat. Lamine Yamal gives them the magic. Pedri gives them control. Rodri gives them the security. And that combination could be exactly what Barcelona have been missing. After 11 years, the wait may finally be coming to an end.